Okay, so right now, the Jacksepticeye game jam is currently 35 minutes to when it starts, and I kind of want to sort of start this when the theme is revealed so that I can sort of share this moment with you guys at the same time, even though like obviously this isn't live. I'm sort of just treating it as like I'm going to be reacting to it sort of live in a sort of way. So yeah, we've still got about 30 minutes to go. Goodness. Guys, we've got 1 minute left. Well, okay, just over 1 minute left, but still 1 minute left towards the jam start, and I'm not ready for this. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm not ready. I'm genuinely just wondering if it's just gonna if the theme is just gonna reveal once the timer is done, but we'll see. Okay, well, I guess that happened. So, okay. Wait. Oh, the theme for the death is an opportunity. Death is an opportunity. Actually, we've got a video right here as well.
Hello to all of you who signed up for the game jam. Thank you so much. We got way more participants than we anticipated, so that's very sweet. Thank you so much. Now the moment you've all been waiting for. The theme for this game jam, Jamsepticeye, is death is an opportunity. That is your theme. Interpret it how you will. We thought it was very cool. Roll with it. I can't wait to see what you create. Thanks again for participating and have fun.
Okay, so, well, the first thing that I think of when it comes to death is an opportunity is it kind of reminds me of like, you know, those time loop sort of games, because whilst you're looping, you're, in a way, you're dying, but you're using that death as a way to get around something. So god, I don't even know how I'm going to make a game around this, but I'm sure I can think of something. Okay, so in a way I have to try and like actually plan the game. So oh my god, it probably would be better to just like live stream so that I can just like bounce ideas off of people like in the live chat. Maybe I will do this for like another game jam in the future, maybe, but I'll just see how I go this way at least for this jam. It'll probably just like go kaput, and I don't even know if I'm gonna actually make anything for it, but it's gonna go well. You know, I'm not gonna lie, trying to think of an idea for this game is kind of difficult, because I mean, you could just like interpret, like, as Jacksepticeye said, like you can just interpret it any way you like. So I suppose like the only thing I can think of currently, I mean, obviously whatever idea I have like can be like sort of adapted and changed, like nothing's like super fixed. So I mean, so far my ideas for what I could go for include like in a way, like I want to try and keep it somewhat simple in a way, and the only thing I can think of is doing a system like Slender in a way, but instead of, now I was gonna say instead of collecting pages or collecting items, Well, then again, you could collect these items of that symbolize death, and the more items that you collect of death, then it gives you more of an opportunity to escape from the enemy, maybe. Because like you could literalize it and say that in a video game, if you die, you could either have a way of bringing the character back, so like a time loop scenario, or you know, some sort of like otherworldly scenario where you're in this dimension where every single time your character dies, then you spawn back in, but either the world still continues or things reset, but you have more of an opportunity to do something after you've died. So yeah, that would be in the literal sense. And also another example would be like Dark Souls. In that game, as far as I know, I've never actually played it myself, but as far as I know, every single time you die, you learn a little bit more about how to combat the enemies. So rather than death being a failure, death is more of an experience to learn more, which I like, because I tend to get really frustrated when I die, because I always see it as like a failure, but I should really see death as a learning experience rather than a failure, because obviously you're not going to be able to do it on the first go, right? So that would make sense for like a literal death is an opportunity sort of thing, but symbolizing it, yeah, putting items in the game which symbolize what it means to be death. Like, I mean, you've got the Grim Reaper, you've also got the Devil, you've got angels. I mean, there's not that many that you could. There's not that many. Actually, you know what? Hang on. Let's just type in the symbols of death. Okay, so we've got skull, vulture, sky. I did not realize that bats were a symbol of death. Skeleton, hourglass. You know what? These actually do help, because like, okay, the idea could be that you have been tasked by an otherworldly entity to... Okay, right, let me just note this down. So, okay, I'm gonna use, like, simple text. So you've... Oh my god, that is tiny. You know what, using this is probably not the best method. God. Instead, I'm just gonna use a notepad. So, you've been tasked to retrieve these items. Okay, you've been tasked by an otherworldly entity to retrieve these... Oh, what does conspicuous mean again? So, conspicuous, standing out so as to be clearly visible. Okay, so what I was trying to go for then does not align with this. Okay, to retrieve these, what word am I looking for? I feel like maybe I could be possibly overthinking this or overcomplicating this, and maybe I shouldn't overcomplicate this. So, to retrieve these absurd objects, or these... To be fair, they could be anomalies. I could intertwine anomalies, because they should... technically, they should not exist within the environment that you're in, right? Or at least in theory, they shouldn't actually exist within that environment, right? So retrieve these anomalies that have been plaguing this environment for as long as... Actually, maybe I should take that away. So they have been plaguing this environment, because I felt like I don't want to like put too much in, because again, this is just a game jam. It's supposed to like, you know, brainstorm ideas of like what you could like possibly make, and like at the end of this, I'm just hoping that it's gonna be decent. I'm not gonna say it's like gonna be the best game ever, because it's not gonna be the best game ever, but I want this to be at least decent. So I guess we could also say like maybe the more that you the more of these anomalous items you pick up, the more dangerous your environment feels. Because like another thing that's sort of inspiring me kind of is Silent Hill 4 The Room. Like, that's one of my favorite games like ever, sort of minus the second part of it. But there's parts of that environment that sort of gets worse over time. So I feel like the more items you pick up, the more things around you get worse, and therefore maybe you have enemies that will try to sort of clean up the place, or there are enemies that will like try to find you. But then again, I'm not too familiar with like AI, you know, controlling enemies, so I don't want to have like too much of a I want it to feel threatening. I want it to feel like unsettling, but I don't want to like have any sort of like threat like constantly chasing you. So this is also going to be a little bit difficult. I suppose the only way that I can think of to do this without having actual enemy AIs involved is because your environment is getting more and more dangerous, more and more like cursed, more and more like disturbing, if you will. I think you have to be very careful about where you traverse. So because we're saying that your environment is going to feel more dangerous, it means it's going to feel more threatening, that like you could potentially die. And if you die, I suppose there could be even more opportunity. But then again, there's already opportunity. Well, okay, even though you're getting items of the death symbolization, your environment is getting dangerous. But how would that be opportunistic? Well, at least for now, I've got the sort of foundation of it sort of ready, and I'll be back like another time to sort of, well, I'll be back in a moment to give you an update on like, well, what's going on. Okay, so it's been the second day of the jam so far, and I've not made much progress since the since yesterday, since the jam starting. I mean, I've added to this sort of like plot story planning sort of thing. So I did have the idea of just picking up items to add to giving you an opportunity to get through the situation, the dangerous situation, but then I don't know how I would sort of like intertwine that. So my next idea was to my next idea is to pick up these items, and because the items are basically symbols of death, which means it's like it's an item that has a bat on it, an item that has a skull on it, an item that has Grim Reaper on it, so on and so on. And you pick up that item. Actually, the item is going to be like a book, because once you have a book with the symbol on it, you give this book to like an entity, and the more books you give to the entity, one, the environment around you will shift and get a bit like demented in a sort of way, and two, you're in a way giving books to this entity as like sort of knowledge. I mean, in a way you could say that it's knowledge of death, but really the idea is that you're giving knowledge of death to this entity. That's what you're thinking anyway, but in reality you're just giving knowledge to this entity to help you escape the environment that you're trapped within. So in a way, the books are kind of disguising themselves as they look like death, but they're actually just escaping pieces of knowledge. And another idea I had was when you're starting, I had the idea of a scary face just popping up on the screen to say, oh, you will be stuck here for eternity unless you pick up the items required for escape. But then I thought, maybe get rid of this. So you know what, I'm probably gonna just say like original idea. And the next idea I had is just throwing the player into the playing field, because sometimes you can sort of give information before the player goes into the playing field, but sometimes, or other times, you should just throw the player into the deep end and let them figure it out for themselves. I mean, of course, when you're thrown into there, you also need to give some sort of like a visual clue as to like where to go, because you don't want the player to be like confused on what to do like immediately, right? So this is what I have so far. Second day of the jam, and this is what I have so far. It's very, 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 very bare bones. I don't even know if the result at the end of the gem is going to be like anything decent or anything good. I'll try my absolute best to like actually make something, but I think I've just been so stressed about this jam because it's only like, I don't know, 5 days long. Most of the time I don't join jams because I stress so much about time, how much time is left, and I stress so much about how much time is left that I don't actually do anything to make up for the time. So I'm trying to be careful of this jam, and I'm just trying my best to see like how it goes. The question is, will I, at the end of this jam, will I go into another game jam? Most likely not, because I'd rather sort of get inspired by something and then make a game around that to create an experience around that. And I just don't think that I'm getting much inspiration for this, which is why it's so hard to just get motivated for it, because most of my motivation comes from being inspired to make something, like make an experience, make something cool, make something fun, just make something. But because I don't have much inspiration, yeah, it's just so much of a struggle to have any sort of motivation to like work on this. And within the short amount of time, I just don't know. I mean, I hope I can make something, but we'll see. I also forgot to mention, I have picked up the title for the game. It's going to be called Dome of Doom, or the Dome of Doom. And I was thinking about having the Deed of Doom, because you're kind of given a task to do something within this environment, and then the more time you spend in the environment and picking up the objects, the more decayed the environment gets. Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try my best to like find a way to do it, but the reason why I went for Dome of Doom instead is because the idea of a dome is that you're trapped within the environment and you cannot escape unless you do certain things to escape. And so, because you're in this environment that gets more doom and gloom the more time you spend, that's why I thought it's a nice idea to call it Dome of Doom. Well guys, third day of the jam, and voila! Look at what I've made. So yeah, things are starting to look like things now, and you know what? If this looks like just a bunch of random level design, that's exactly what it is. Because I just like I didn't even know how I was going to structure the level, so I just thought, you know what, just do something and something will happen. Just go with the flow and something will pop in your brain, and that kinda happened. Like, I was doing the walls, and also the walls have this sort of like a pixelated texture in it. I actually made that happen because I looked up dungeon textures online, and there were some pretty good textures that were, you know, of high quality, but because I wanted to bring a little bit of a pixelated look to this, it's not going to be like 100% pixelated. I just wanted to try out that sort of style, and so I put the textures into like Photoshop. I don't use Adobe Photoshop, by the way. I use Photopea, which is a website alternative, which is free, and I just put these textures into Photopea, and I just put like a little bit of a mosaic pixelation filter, because I was originally thinking of shrinking down the image and then making it bigger again, but I tried doing that and like no change happened. So I thought, okay, might as well just put like a mosaic pixelation effect on it, and that seems to have done the trick, sort of, kind of. And because I think it was yesterday or the day before, I can't remember when, I was speaking about the whole books with the symbol of death on them, and here are the books. so this one is with the Grim Reaper, and actually I had to look up online. Actually, no. I showed this, didn't I? I showed this to you, that I looked up the symbols of death online, and I saw like PNGs of these, and I thought, okay, might as well just plop them onto the books. Now, the idea of this is that you go around this environment. Okay, it's very, very linear. If I had more time, I probably would have made the level a bit more scattered, like maze-like, but because I don't have much time doing this, I thought might as well just make it linear. Like, it's my first game jam game, so might as well just not put too much into it. So I made it linear, and you could go all the way around, and over here, this door is actually like open. Most of them are going to be, you know, closed, and you're going to be talking to this fella over here. This game might end up being just a little bit silly. It's meant to be, you know, horror. It's meant to be scary, but I think most of that is probably maybe going to be like in the atmosphere and the sound design. And I think that maybe on the last day I'll try my best to do all of the sound design and atmosphere. Like most of this I'm trying to do mechanically first, so that to make sure it all works and stuff. But then on the last day I'm hopefully going to be just adding, you know, a little bit of flair to it at least. So yeah, the idea is that you're going to be talking to this little fella. Well, I say little, but you're going to be talking to this fella, and there's going to be hopefully some dialogue happening here. Now, I don't know if I want to use a dialogue manager system, because I've used dialogue manager systems before, like Dialogic. I've also used dialogue manager. I don't know if I want to use those. I don't know if I want to use... I feel like I should just use those to like quicken up the process, because if I make my own, it would take much longer, so I might as well just use someone else's to quicken up the process. So yeah, there's going to be dialogue happening, and this guy is going to say like, I will open up a door for you. I'll give you the key to this door, and you give me this book. And each time this happens, the environment will shift a little bit, decaying, and the idea is to the more time you spend in this environment, the more likely you're going to suffer and die. That's the idea of it. Whether or not I can actually make that actually happen is another matter, if I have enough time. But yeah, that is the idea. I mean, I was going to have like a little bit of a hole in here to have like a representation of like an entity, but I suppose this thing can be represented as an entity, even though it's literally a backrooms creature. I think it's called Fabric. When I downloaded this, that's what it was called, like Fabric. So yeah, it's a backrooms entity, and I thought, you know what, just throw that in. Yeah, every single time you interact with a book to, you know, give us some knowledge on how to escape, the screen will fade to black, and then when that happens, the environment, will shift, decay, and stuff like that. I haven't properly implemented that yet, but that will hopefully happen soon. And we've also got this little passageway here going all the way over to here, because like the idea is okay, I didn't think of this until just now actually, but this is meant to be like a wall, but when you get the key, it actually shifts into a door just completely out of nowhere. I know that's a little bit of a risky move, and it's a bit like, why would you do that? But maybe I should just put a door here. Maybe. At least it would make sense in a sort of way to have this door open if there is already a door here. Maybe, I have no idea. But I mean, so far this is going alright-ish. Again, like, it's so difficult to do this when you just struggle with like motivation, because it's not a game that I typically want to make. It's just, you know, I've said this before, it's something I'm trying out, and if people seem to like this, I will be heavily surprised, because I would expect people to like the other games that I make, rather than just like this one is just like, this one just feels like it's cobbled together, and it's trying to stay together. It's like when you throw something at the wall and it sticks, like it's trying to like stick together, but it's, well, I'll see how it goes in the final result. But yeah, this is what I have so far. So things seem to be looking like things. Alright everybody, day 4 of the jam, and I haven't made too much of like development or progress on this, but what I have added is I will admit that I forgot to mention in the yesterday I forgot to mention these doors. I don't know why I forgot to mention these doors, but I forgot to mention these doors. So as you can see, there's a door right here and another door right here. Now you're probably wondering why they're like 2 doors. Well, I'm gonna be making this sort of like a Minecraft door sort of effect where you interact with the door, and rather than it, you know, animating opening, it just snaps open. It's like it's closed and then it's open. So kind of like how Minecraft does it. And it's not because I'm lazy to do like an animating door. It's purely because stylistic choice, really. Like I wanted to have this sort of door because one, I do think that it is a little more performant than animating a door. Not saying that animating a door is heavy on performance, but I just think, one, it's a stylistic choice, and 2, maybe it will make my game a little bit more unique. Maybe, I have no idea. But also, right here, well, I mean, it's currently invisible, but if I make it more visible, if I make it visible, it's a gate. Now it's not actually textured just yet. I'm gonna texture it like really soon. But so when you've collected all of the books for the entity, I'm not actually gonna like mention what the entity will actually say, because I've actually created dialogue for the entity. And to be fair, if you're watching in this video, you've probably seen or played the game, and maybe you just want to see the behind the scenes maybe. So you've already seen dialogue. I don't know. But if you've already seen the dialogue, then you know what the entity says. And yes, I did make the entity a little bit silly, maybe, but I didn't want this to be truly horrifying because I didn't really know how to do that, especially in the short amount of time that we have. So I wanted to have a little bit of like silliness, a bit of goofiness to the dialogue. But yeah, talking about the gate. So once we give the keys to the entity, we come back over here because the entity tells us how to leave this place, and this is going to be like opened up, and we can go back through here, and as soon as we come back through here, the gate will shut and we will be trapped here forever. So the idea is to try and escape, but you can't escape. It probably sounds a bit like pessimistic or depressing, but I just think the idea of not being able to escape, there's something so fascinating about it to me. I don't even know what it is, but I wanted to do that. And yeah, so the gate is here, and I've done most of the coding already, so it's like 75% of the way there, with the whole like environment shifting. When I say environment shifting, I mean, you know, decaying, getting all like gross and disgusting. I haven't actually implemented that yet, so I'm hoping to do that like very soon, and hopefully on the last day I will have put in. So actually, you know what, because I haven't done it yet, I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but because I haven't done it yet, I'm actually going to run the game so far, and I'm going to show you what I've made, because okay, that's going to be there. Okay, I'm going to make that invisible for now. There we go. So right, so here we go, and I've also made a pause menu. I made a pause menu, I think, the day before, because this is the 4th day. I think I made it on, yeah, I think I made it on the 3rd day, yeah. So this is the pause menu, and oh wait, why is that? Wait, is there, hang on. Okay, so I figured out what it was. So I'm going to show you in just a moment. But here we have the pause menu and options. This is actually not a settings menu I made, but this is a settings menu that I downloaded. It's called a Universal Settings for Godot, and it's really, really nice. It may look kind of but it's really, really nice to have your settings there. And so yeah, that's the pause menu, and we've got this. You can't pick up just yet. I haven't done that, but this is how you get your sort of lighter. The lighting hasn't actually been done yet. I'm hoping to do that soon as well. Not sure when exactly, but I'm hoping to do that soon. So we can go around here, and you can see the light source. The door, you can't even interact with it just yet. When you're actually playing the game, it's going to be pretty linear, and that's all I can really do for a game in a short amount of time. But if we go ahead and go all the way around, and we will interact with this entity. Fetch me books now will help you escape. Yes, I'm aware that the rooms are locked. I shall give you access to the rooms. From then on, you will fetch me books. One by one. Here is your first piece of access. And we got the key. Now, of course, there will be a key sound effect playing, and because that key showed up, that was preventing me from actually using the pause menu because technical reasons. But so far, now I'm actually able to open up the wait, actually, that's why was my crosshair like that? That was ooh. Why is my crosshair like that? I mean, it shouldn't be like that. I don't know why it's like that. That's weird. But okay, we've got the first door here, and then we open it up, and there's going to be a sound effect playing of it opening up. Of course, it will be added at the end. And here we have the first book. I'm not able to interact with it. I should be able to, but I can't. Okay, so I haven't actually tested that out yet, but now I know. Okay. So I've got to deal with that, but so far that's what I have of the game so far. Alright everybody, the last day of the jam, and I think everything is completely fine. I think wait, hang on a minute, wait. Before absolutely anything actually, I need to take care of... Wait, where is it? Ceiling. Right. Let me just, why is it not... It's not allowing me to... Oh, wait. That's why. Okay. So, just bring this out a little bit. There we go. Eek. So, apart from all of that, I think everything is fine now. I haven't actually exported it, and I haven't actually uploaded the game as like a submission yet. I'm going to do that like literally right after this part of the recording, but everything seems to be working fine, I think. So let's go ahead and do game, and then embed. Yep, there we go. Wait, no, don't embed it, actually, don't do that. Right, let's just play it, and here we go. This is not meant to be here, actually. I need to deal with that soon. Right. So, oh, and I need to actually deal with the player. Oh my god. I forgot that right. Let me just quickly do that. Right, okay. I think it is fixed now. Let's see. Okay, it's fixed now. And now, yeah, our running is like that. Okay, so let's just pick this up. nice little sounds. Now unfortunately I can't actually deal with this, like the thing clipping through. I can't deal with it. I don't really know how to, and I don't have the time to sort of deal with it. And okay, technically you can actually see that, but nobody's actually going to look up there. I mean, I could lower the ceiling, but nobody's going to look up there. I don't think anyway. I'm sure it's normal. Okay, well, we've also got fire sound effects. I did have it a little bit darker than this, but I thought maybe don't have it too dark because maybe this is too much light. Maybe it's fine though. I'm sure it's fine. So yeah, as you can see, we do have quite a bit of atmosphere in here. I mean, obviously you guys should know about this because if you haven't played the game yourself, then, well, you're kind of getting spoiled. So you kind of already know about this. But, thing is, I'm showing you all of this, but one thing I want to say is I wanted to also involve footsteps, but no matter how hard I tried to do footsteps and how long it took me, I thought, you know what, this is not going to be worth the time, so I'm not going to do the footsteps. Yes, it's a tiny bit less of atmosphere, but it's not really much you can do about that. But I think I was able to do most of what I wanted to do. I mean, I don't know if I fully realized the entire idea that I was going for, but I still had somewhat of fun doing what I've done, and I'm not expecting like anyone to like really like the game. I'm expecting like maybe a few people to enjoy it to an extent, but I'm not expecting people to say it's like a really good game, because I mean, maybe they might say that the sound design is like really good, or the way the presentation looks really good. Because one thing I like to do in the games that I make is good atmosphere, good sound design, and also good presentation as well. I try to do those the absolute most. So honestly, out of all of this, I think I can safely say that I don't think I'm going to do another jam. I think this might be the only jam I do. I mean, if there's like a month-long jam, I might do that, see how we go. But a jam that's this long, or this short in fact, I'm not going to do another one, because I just personally think it's way too short of a time frame. So, but I have enjoyed it. I mean, part of it has been a little bit of torture, because, you know, trying to get as much as you can done for the idea that you want to do. But I mean, it's meant to be fun in the end, and if you're not enjoying it, then just kind of leave the jam. But I wanted to get something out there at least, and I haven't made the game page just yet. I'm going to do that very soon. And also, where is it? Title screen. So, wait, there we go. So, I didn't really know what to do for a title screen. I just sort of plotted things together, and I kind of like it. The title screen is kind of, it does feel a bit more alive than just, you know, a static thing. So I do like it in that sense. Unfortunately, it's only the image that's sort of alive and nothing really else. But if I had more time, I probably would have done more of a title screen. But I spent so much time on the actual main scene itself. I mean, with good reason, of course, because you spend most of the time in the main scene, and that's like the crux of it. So I think I am glad about my creation. I am proud of it. Now, of course, after this recording, I'm going to make sure 100% that everything is working correctly, because I don't actually know if it's working correctly or not. So that'll be interesting. But this is the last day of the jam, and I think the next day, tomorrow, I'm gonna do like my final thoughts maybe. Then again, I've sort of done my final thoughts in this recording. But if I have anything else to add, then I'll just add it on to the next day. So, yeah. Okay everyone, so it's been about like a day and a bit since the jam ended, and I just wanted to give my final thoughts on the jam and the time in which I spent on the jam. And I just wanted to say that I had a lot more fun making the game towards the end of the jam rather than at the beginning, because it's like it overwhelms you how much you have to do, but then once you have like an idea and once you have like something going, the groove just sets into place and you just actually get on with it. And that's how it felt like for me, at least, because I was dreading like the actual level design or like the level placement, like how you're gonna like move around the level. But once I've actually put every single thing into place, all that was left was just like the programming part. And honestly, I think the programming part is my favorite part. I mean, so is the sound design part, also the presentation part, but two of those things kind of go hand in hand. Also the visual part, but the programming part and mostly the sound design part, definitely my favorite. And I just love what I did with the idea. Now, obviously, when it comes to the actual idea itself and the theme, most people, I think, are going to go for the literal side of the theme, as in if you die, you don't reset your progress is still there, but death is some sort of opportunity to progress. But yeah, because I didn't know if I had time, or I felt like I didn't have enough time to do anything like that, I thought, okay, I'm gonna do the theme in symbolism and sort of twist it around a little bit. So rather than the opportunity being for you, is for your friend. I didn't actually think of this, like, first of all, it kind of just like popped up in my head. I was like, yes, that just sounds really, really good. Because like the original idea was that when you go back into the starting, that's technically actually where you go back to. You like when the final door is unlocked and you go through it and you're like going through this long corridor, you're actually just going back to the first room that you started in. And the idea was that there was going to be like a door you can open in there. Now, I could have still gone for that idea, but because I was running out of time, I thought, you know what? Why not just trap you here? And I'd say it just worked out in the end. Now, yeah, of course, people might not notice the theme within the game. It probably would have been easier if, one, people know about the symbols of death, which is, you know, bats, Grim Reaper, and Skull. If people know about that, then they may be able to see the theme. But if they don't know that, then they don't know that. Like, you don't know what you don't know. I wish I also put, like, text display on the screen saying, like, oh, you got this item. Like, you know how, like, I think it's like it's more like Silent Hill, right? Where like you pick up an item and it tells you what you've picked up. So I wish I did that, but then I thought maybe that's a little bit too similar to Silent Hill. But then again, you've also got games which just tell you that you've picked up an item, so it's not really like Silent Hill, but Silent Hill just happens to be one of the games that it reminds me of. The question is, will I do another game jam? I'm gonna say most likely not. Not saying that this was so bad that it's deterred me from doing game jams. I did have fun making this game, and I mostly did it as like a new opportunity for me to try something new and see how I feel about doing it again and see how I feel about after doing it. And I think I can definitely say that I likely won't do it again. It depends on the context. If, say for example, Markiplier did a game jam, maybe I would do another one, but it also depends on the time. Because this one was about 5 days long, I felt like that was a bit too short of time frame, because you do have games that are like a week long, but this was like less than a week, so I felt like it was a bit shorter. But if the game jam was like maybe a month long, I might do another game jam. But yeah, again, it's context dependent. But all I can say is that for now at least, I'm not going to join another game jam. Mostly because the pressure of time sometimes can take away creativity, because I struggle to get motivated with a project if there's constantly like a time pressure on me, and I'd rather just have motivation from like inspiration from something. And to be fair, I do have other game ideas that I'm already putting into fruition because of inspiration from something else. They're taking a bit of time to make, but don't worry, they are getting made. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna really say about the game jam. So I just want to say, for those of you who were interested in watching this, thank you so much for watching. That's all I can really say, right? Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day, just taking the time to listen to me ramble about my process of my thinking. I could have done this in a script format where I make all of the game and I sort of script what my thought process was, but I think this way is a little bit better, because at least I'm recording my thought process for, I mean, I suppose I could like write down like a script to like pull together all of my thoughts about the project and record that, and then like keep on making a project, and then so basically do what I've done already like daily, but instead of just rambling, I could have just done like I write up a script and then like record that, and I could have done that maybe. But I wanted to try this approach first to see how it bodes well for me and for everyone else, and maybe next time I'll do like a script like that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope everyone enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time, whenever the next time is. See you next time. Peace.